another TA and FA show here at Sin City Crypto. My name is David. I'll be your host. We're on the show today and every other trading show that we're going live Monday through Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, where we're only focused on technical and fundamental analysis. And today, a lot to talk about. We're going to break down the moves. We're going to identify some key levels. I know a lot of you have felt like you've missed out on a lot of the top tier projects like BitTensor, like Hedera, like even Bitcoin. And so we're going to break down some key support levels where you can buy for your spot bags and also potentially for some trades as well. We did put in a leverage long trade. This was actually a limit order on BTC 99738. Again, we talked about this on the morning live show. The key level there is our 50% retracement level, which also we have confluence there with our conversion line from our Ichimoku Cloud, which is our 9-day moving average. So we have that sitting at 99,737. But of course, I'm going to front run that just a little bit by $1 to be exact. And so we have our limit orders set here, as you can see, 99,738 for a BTC long at 10x leverage. Hopefully that fills. I don't know if it will, but we did alert our Discord members. So if you're part of our trading group in Discord, not saying you should copy the exact same trade, but that is what I am currently eyeing for BTC. But the chart still looks strong. And you guys already know, right? When you have big rallies, you want to see pullbacks, okay? You want to see the pullbacks. You don't want to see anything go up and to the right only. That is not sustainable. And so a healthy pullback, I am all for. The first level we had our eye on, really, guys, was that 236 Fibonacci level, but that was at 102,905. And we are, well, the candle hasn't closed yet, so this could completely reverse. And remember, the stock market closes in about 23 minutes. And what kind of numbers are we going to see from the ETFs? As we know, the NASDAQ rallied hard, the S&P rallied hard, and the Dow Jones was up over 1,000 points when we started the show, but on top of it, during the show as well. You know, in fact, let's go ahead and check on the on TradFi on Wall Street. So yeah, this thing is still going strong, my friends. 1,100 points on the Dow, 3% on the S&P, and 4% on the NASDAQ. Now we know, again, Bitcoin has kind of pulled back, but we'll see. We'll see how this thing plays out. We'll take a peek at Market Cipher B on the daily time frame here. We did get a bearish crossover on our VWAP, sitting at -3 currently, but money flow is still deep in the green, which is great. We did get a red dot printed on our momentum wave here, which could signify the initial kind of get out of a long or potentially enter into a short. But my strategy here, guys, is I am waiting to long support levels versus short resistance levels. Sure, I might leave a little bit of money on the table, but we're at a point in the market now where news moves the markets dramatically. And on top of that, all the stuff from a fundamental standpoint of tangible things you can say will move the price of Bitcoin and altcoins. We're going to continue to see that. And so I don't want to be caught in a short, trying to short a resistance level, because you see, as Bitcoin has had these massive rallies. Also, what we're coming into as well is our bull flag pattern. And so we'll see how that plays out. We'll take a peek at the lower time frames on BTC. Now, the 1 hour does not look good. We did get a break below our cloud, and the cloud did flip from green to red. And we do have our baseline trading above our conversion line, which all three together is bearish sentiment and a bearish trend for BTC. We can take a peek at Market Cipher B. Let's get rid of that. And so we are seeing a reversal in the stochastic oscillator and our RSI there. And you see how deep this momentum wave got, right? The last time we got this deep, this was back on Sunday, May 4th. And let's actually take a peek at what did Bitcoin do Sunday, May 4th. And that is right here. We saw BTC, and I'm a little offset to my laptop, but here we go. So this was Bitcoin bottomed around 93.7, and we saw a rally of around 1.2%, and then Bitcoin pretty much chopped sideways. And so momentum waves are there, right? We got that deep retracement, but we haven't gotten our green dot, but this could potentially set us up for my favorite strategy to use when we talk about Market Cipher B is a green dot comes in here on a large momentum wave that crossed below our 60 line. And then as this momentum wave comes up, we want to see a smaller wave creating our anchor trigger wave entry on a long for BTC on the 1 hour time frame. Obviously, this thing needs to play out. This is on the hourly candles, but something to keep an eye on. And we are, so everything's pointing bearish on the lower time frames as well. But when you zoom out to the weekly for BTC, we are well above our cloud on the Ichimoku, and everything looks really good on here as well. And you see here really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of up only for Bitcoin. It was about time we got some retracement. In fact, I'm going to remove that fib and we're going to draw some new fib levels here. We'll take a peek at how deep can this retracement potentially go, taking it from the low wick low here to our wick high. And let's hide these and let's only keep our Fibonacci retracement. Also, if you're new here, welcome. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. That was interesting. I was looking. The trading show, we lose more subscribers than we gain subscribers. I wonder why. I wonder if it's the morning people who don't like as much TA and they unsubscribe, or people just think, I don't know. Either way, do us a favor and subscribe to the channel. Okay, so this move we measured, this is from the bottom of 74.8 to our local high of around 105.5. So the first level that pops out at me is our 236 level, which sits at 98.426. And our gold pocket on this move, and I don't think we're going to get this move, okay? I don't think we're going to get a deep enough retracement to hit this gold pocket, which sits between 85.6 and 86.65 for BTC. So the first level, my friends, and it looks like we are actually on the way there, is going to be our 236. And I know it's a little dim, and so I'll just drop a flag on top. Again, that level is 98.468. I would feel pretty confident putting in a limit order for BTC at these key levels, but we already have one limit order in, and I'm hoping this thing fills. So that is for BTC. We take a look at the liquidations, excuse me, for Bitcoin. This thing was over 200 million on the 1 hour time frame. We're currently sitting at 101 million, with 97% of those being longs. And again, if you're freaking out, you're panicking, don't freak out, don't panic. This is all par for the course. With that being said, I'm just going to take a peek at the chat. Welcome to people. Big thank you to all of the mods in the chat. Also, Giga Longbottom said, hello, father. Hello, son or daughter. Not sure if you're a man or a woman, but hello. Hello. Also, CB Lifehack said, I'll be there next month. Hit us up, man. Send me an email, david@sincitycrypto.io, and we'll set you up. If you want to come visit the studio, hang out with us, and catch a live show, we'll be more than happy to have you in the studio. Tony said, yawn. He doesn't like TA. Tony, that's okay, man. Come back to the morning show. We'll get more of the news and the dual host combo there. And if there's anything you guys want me to take a look at, whether it's from a TA or a fundamental analysis standpoint, or you need my thoughts on anything, please throw it in the chat. I'll be going back and forth, just randomly taking a peek. And also make sure to like the video. With that being said, let's take a peek at the crypto bubbles. Speaking of bubbles, let me take a sip of my bubbles here. This is not beer. This is actually tea. Technically, it doesn't have any bubbles. But this is on the, let's take a peek on the 1 hour. This is the 1 hour. Kaspa down 4% on the 1 hour, leading the top losers. We can actually take a peek at a Kaspa chart. Now, Kaspa, we talked about that 10 to 11, really 10 to 12 cent level being extremely important for Kaspa. We know that massive crescendo upgrade. Let's make this chart look a little better than it currently is. Let's get rid of our fib, and we can keep the rest, I guess. So this is, let's go to the daily on Kaspa. Let's throw on our cloud. Now this pattern here, essentially this falling channel, we did get a break to the upside, and we did not get a retest. And you guys know how I like to trade. I like to trade on retests of breakouts. We didn't get one on Kaspa, and so we missed that trade. So we look for the next leg up or the next key level of support that we can see Kaspa catching. But you see this clean breakout and move from our cloud. Now, we did get a retest of our cloud. As you can see here, this was back on the 30th of April. These are daily candles for Kaspa. Coming in, we did get a clean breakout with volume, which is what you want to see, a retest. Failed to make a new high, but then Kaspa really took off to as high as around 13.1K 2 cents for Caspa. But you can see here, this chart's been fairly ugly, really going back to December of last year from a peak high of around 19 cents all the way down. The key levels that Caspa needs to clear, and we can actually throw them on now. Let me get rid of my cloud, and we can work the higher time frame here. Bam. Let's drop some horizontals here. So the first one we're going to drop is there, which we should see a retest. That's 10.7 cents. The next one on the high time frame, SR level, is going to be right there at 12.9 cents, which you can see Caspa already tipped, topped and got rejected. You can see here how many times on the way up as we try to break through for that new all-time high, going all the way back to 2023. Caspa got rejected multiple times until ultimately had this massive God candle. But even on the way down on some wicks, this massive wick we saw before Caspa really started to fall off. And so this would be another level. As you can see, Caspa more recently, this was actually on this week's candle that opened on yesterday, on Sunday. We got rejected at that 12.9 cent level. So that is the very next key level that I'm looking for Caspa to break. And it looks like we could be coming into a potential cup and handle pattern here on Caspa, which is very bullish. There's your cup, and looks like we are starting to form the handle. Now, the first level that I'm interested in longing Caspa is at this 10.71 cent level. But if we throw some fibs on and we talk about how deep can this retracement go before this cup and handle pattern gets invalidated, Caspa needs to stay above this 50% retracement level, which is 9.2447 cents. And so have some alerts ready. Have an alert ready at 10.7 cents. Have an alert ready at 9.244 cents, because those are going to be the levels that we are looking to long for Caspa as we want to see this cup and handle pattern play out and break to the upside. Now, the measured move here would be, let's measure the depth of our cup. Depending on what we get to breakout. Now, if we get a breakout from 10 cents, you're looking at a push to 16 cent Caspa. If we do come all the way down and this handle fills that 9.24 cent level, you're looking at a Caspa price of 14.8 cents. Again, this is on the high time frame on the weekly, so this might take some time to play out, or we can see Caspa say, screw it, I've been held down long enough, and it starts to take out some of these key levels. But once we clear really this 15 cent level, I really think Caspa hits new all-time highs rather quickly. And then we all know from a fundamental standpoint, we love what Caspa does. And of course, with the crescendo hard fork, let's take a peek at Market Cipher B. Trying to see a potential head and shoulders here on the momentum waves, right? We'll see where this stops. Does this keep expanding to the upside, or do we start seeing a reversal to the downside? This would be a bearish setup, as that would mean that momentum waves would break to the downside, which would mean price would follow, but we do have our VWAP and our money flow still in the green, which is good. Pretty high on the stochastics and the RSI as well. And so Caspa, again, ran fairly hot really on the daily. If you look from that 5 cent level back towards the beginning of April, from wick to wick, 150% rally from Caspa. And so keep your eye on Caspa. Keep your eye on those key levels on the higher time frames. Again, 10.71 cents. And then on the resistance side, 12.92 cents. And so strategy that I'll be happy to use, and feel free to use this yourself as well, is to just enter in longs at 10.7 and just make sure you take your profit before price hits 12.9 cents until we see that big breakout. And then we trade that on a retest to the upside to clear that 12.9 cent level. So that is Caspa. On the hour, we are starting to see some green across altcoins. BitTensor up 3.6%. You guys know how bullish I am on Tau and BitTensor. I do see a few people throw H-bar up there for a potential price. Take a look at a chart. We will look at H-bar for sure. We'll also look at Virtual's protocol. I do want to give some fundamental analysis on that protocol as well. And now I've lost my train of thought. What the hell were we trying to look for? We were trying to look for BitTensor. BitTensor. We're going to be ramping up our content here now that kind of our construction is, for the most part, under control. You never know what can happen. You guys know Friday we couldn't even do a show because Windows decided to update and everything literally crashed. And so here we go. Let's clean up this chart a little bit. Let's hide our trend line. Let's hide our horizontals. We'll come back to those if we need. Let's get rid of that price level. This is BitTensor on the weekly. Not a bad looking chart. This 434 level has been very important. We'll just throw this on here. And if we can stay above 432, you can see how pivotal this level was on the way up and on the way down as we caught multiple bounces. I think the most significant one here that we're looking at, my friends, is going to be this bounce back in October of last year, where we saw BitTensor fall from a high of around $500 down to that 432, and then we saw a reversal and rally of 73%, and then on the way down, we saw price bump up, get rejected, and finally, we cleared this on a weekly candle. Can we stay above it? Right now, we're getting a spinning top / doji candle here, which signifies indecision in the markets. But you can see already on a wick, we've caught support here at 432. So with that being said, I actually would like to enter into or put in a long order here on BitTensor. Yes. And then we'll go to BitTensor. And I'm just going to put in a limit long at that 432 level for Tau. Limit, we'll keep it at 12x. We'll go 1K. And limit price is going to be 432.50. Limit long. There it is. And so now we have two limit orders open. One is for BitTensor at 432.50, and the other one is our BTC limit order that we came into the show with at 99,738. Also, guys, if you're in the US, highly recommend you use Buy DeFi. This is no KYC, no VPN in the United States. And you guys know that we've been using them for a while, and it does give you access to our trading group as well. All right. With that being said, let's dig into some. We'll get back to a little bit of a deeper BitTensor chart, but let's dig in to some smart money. What is smart money doing? Compliments of Nansen.ai. Which, by the way, is $130 a month. And so, but don't worry, you guys can, you guys take a look at what I'm looking at. I'll keep showing you this. So this is smart money, top tokens. The only filter I have is the token age. The token's got to be at least 60 days. That's it. And you can see here, again, Virtual's protocol leads the way. Look at these 30-day flows, my friends. $25 million of smart money flowed in to Virtual's protocol over the last 30 days. 91 traders. Now, you do see some one-offs, right? Here you go. 1.46 million, and that is Floki. But that's from one wallet, right? One smart money wallet that's tracked by Nansen versus 91 from Virtual's protocol. It is also the leader, I believe, across every single time frame. Let's take a peek at the 24-hour. Virtuals is the leader. 7-day Virtuals is the leader. And then 30-day Virtuals is the leader as well. And that's for good reason. Take a look at some of these numbers from Dune Analytics. These are daily active wallets by the number of tokens traded on Virtuals. You see here back in December, really starting in November through January of this year, November of last year through January of this year, we saw a massive spike in daily active wallets on Virtuals, and that's where the price was really running to that high we saw of $5 billion market cap. And you can see we're starting to see those daily active wallets ramp up yet again on the volume as the ecosystem has been brought to life again. And a lot of that has to do with the Genesis protocol and the Genesis virtual agent launches. Daily active wallets by chain on Virtuals. We now know that obviously Virtuals is on Solana and on Base. and you can take a look at DEX volume. Our virtuals video did drop about 10 minutes ago. So when we're done with this stream, go watch that virtuals protocol video, because I dig a little deeper into this and also give my 3 favorite virtuals picks right now with the current market cap and where the markets are currently. And then for the Genesis launches. So for the Patreon members, I did do a complete breakdown of every single upcoming Genesis launch and which ones I'm bullish on and which ones I'm completely fading. So if you're part of our Patreon, make sure to go to that. But some of the hot ones, GPT Wars, is currently, it is live. And so if you're part of this ecosystem, you can pledge to become part of this launch. It's at 113% subscription. So this thing will launch. It's got 444 participants. You know, it's funny. I was doing my research on GPT Wars, and I clicked the link for their X handle, and I blocked them. And the only reason I would block them is if I was getting those bot replies. And so that was one of my red flags for this project, was very, very botted on the social media. But as far as like the utility, it's fine. It's actually got a pretty exciting utility or kind of thesis as to why people should or would get into this project. It's essentially a polymarket oracle. Okay, so that's very unique, something that we don't really see. We know we have polytrader on virtuals, but this is one that's going to get a lot of hype. And so if you have some points, this is something that I plan on pledging to and participating in. I think I have like 5 or 6 wallets. I do plan on using all of them to get some access to be part of this launch here. And there's a few other ones as well. There's ones that really, really did well. I know Basis, right? BIOS did extremely well. Another big one to keep your eye on, my friends, is going to be Axelrod. Now with this one, the team has been reaching out to KOLs, including me and our channel. I was trying to fish for some info to see if they're doing any shady shit, but I haven't heard back from them. And so this one, it's got the asterisk to it. So just proceed with caution. But again, I have that full breakdown for Patreon members. And if you want to be a Patreon member, that link is in the description of this video. And then as far as price action on virtuals, this thing was in the basement for a very long time, really since March through April. So an entire month just really trading at between 50 and 80 cents. And we've seen this massive rally from virtuals. We saw a huge leg up. This is on the daily, by the way. This breakout with volume, 240%. And then I'm actually curious. I'm just going to do this here. That retracement we saw, and let me get rid of, let's get rid of some of these horizontals. That retracement we saw was right at that 50% Fibonacci retracement level. And I'm curious, if we draw another one from the low to where we are, I would expect a trip back down to $1.75 for virtuals, right? That would be almost identical to, again, the price action we saw from virtuals, this massive run up, right? Essentially coming into a bull flag, hitting that 50% fib level from this entire move to where we are now, right? Now, this spanned over multiple days, multiple candles. This one was just a massive Cialis candle. Big candle, but nonetheless, another potential bull flag that I'm expecting to meet at that 50% retracement level, which we have confluence. If I get rid of this, if I get rid of our fib here, our conversion line, my friends, on the Ichimoku cloud, which sits, as you can see here, at $1.75. And I'll drop a flag so we can see it more clearly. Bam, $1.75. So we have confluence from our fib at 50%, plus from our cloud at that's our 9-day moving average as well. But virtuals looks really, really good. And what I love about this move and what I love about this chart is the price is moving because people are using it. Price is not moving only because people are speculating, but because people actually are needing to buy the token to participate in the Genesis launches and the other projects on virtuals as well. And so this is not financial advice. If you feel like you missed out Hopefully you didn't buy this massive move up to that $2.19 level. But a key level to look out for, my friends, if you want to get into this project, $1.75. If you have some patience and you wait, I think you'll be handsomely rewarded. I do want to take a peek at Hedera. I know we got a few people that were asking for H-bar. Let's clean up the chart here, and let's get rid of that, and we'll keep that on here. Let's start on the weekly. Now on the weekly, actually, let's not start on the weekly. Let's start on the daily. On the daily, this is very bullish, right? Obviously a clear uptrend, but the most important thing you guys know is this right here. This move, clean breakout, 3 candles, right? You can call this the 3 white soldiers, and then a retest, and the cloud held, and we look for more upside, further upside. You also have the cloud, which has flipped green, and everything else we look for. The only thing, actually not the only thing, we got that as well. The crossover for our 9-day moving average, moving above our 26-day moving average. So that is on the higher time frames. We can take a peek at market cipher B, and let me clear this up here as well. There we go. You know, I like having music is because I don't have to feel like I gotta just yap 24/7 like my buddy Rob here does on the morning show. But we'll be working on that. We'll be adding music to the live. So now we essentially have 3 sets we filmed from for this show. Here, my house, and then the solo, the Pit Boss set. If you guys know, you've seen the pictures on X. But this is Market Cipher B on Hedera on the daily. Money flow, we need this thing to cross over. We were on our way there, right? Had that sharp turn to the upside, and then you saw this thing kind of curve inwardly and flatten out. We want to see a break above our midline to the upside to see money flow go from red to green. Our VWAP, though, conversely, is doing the same, but to the upside, right? We were getting a cross down on the VWAP, but we are seeing it inward. We want to see that thing go up again. RSI beginning to cool off after we did hit overbought levels. And then we'll see where this momentum wave stops. Will we get a green dot? Will we get a red dot? But this was a beautiful setup here as well to enter into a long on H-bar. So if you have Market Cipher B, simple strategy that you can use that I've been using is that anchor wave, trigger wave, entry on longs or shorts. Again, using Market Cipher B. Let's zoom into the lower time frames. This is H-bar on the 4-hour. Cloud still looks great. We are catching a little bit of support here at our 26-day moving average, which is our red line on the cloud. And potentially a mini. Let me get rid of these beautiful drawings here. My daughter would be extremely proud. She makes fun of my drawings all the time. But this mini cup and handle here on the 4-hour, right? And catching support at our 26-day moving average, which sits at 20.9 cents. I am interested in a long if we do get down there. And this measured move for H-bar, if this pattern fulfills, depending on if we do get that breakout from our 26-day moving average, you're looking at a price of around 22.6 cents. If we do get that breakout closer to where price is now, you're looking at around 22.79 cents. Either way, from a fundamental standpoint, we're uber bullish on H-bar. And let me get rid of these here as well. Also, I see Alex O in the chat. Alex O, man, what's up, brother? If you guys are not subbed to Alex O, highly recommended. That dude puts out some really good content. On the 4-hour, just got a red dot on Market Cipher B. Bearish crossover on the VWAP. This is, again, on the 4-hour. So expect some potential downside. And again, we're targeting 20.9 cents as a potential long entry. We're going to keep our eye on a bunch of other things as well, my friends, okay? We're going to keep an eye on volume. And of course, we're going to keep an eye on the overall sentiment of not just Bitcoin, but of course, the altcoin markets as well. And there's one more thing I wanted to take Market Cipher A. Market Cipher A. Let's take a peek. Are we seeing any signs or signals from Market Cipher A? Let's zoom into the 1-hour. So you see these bands, right? These 9, the ribbon, right? The ribbon's getting tight. And we potentially, and I think we will be going from an uptrend to a downtrend if you kind of isolate Market Cipher A and only look at that. And so again, just the overall markets, we're seeing a cool off as the alts and Bitcoin rally through the weekend. Stock markets were closed. It's now flipped. The stock market seeing its rally and Bitcoin's cooling off. But I don't think this is going to be any sort of long-term cool off. I don't think this is going to be any sort of long-term consolidation. I just think the markets need a breather because dominance fell, altcoins rallied massively. And so for HBAR, if you're looking for a trade setup, again, 20.9 cents is a level that I would be currently looking at. All right. We got 155 viewers in here, 63 likes. Make sure to hit the like button. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Just going to take a peek at the chat here. Dr. Payne said, who is dumping on us? No one. No one. Ashley said, hope virtual gets in the $3 to $4 range. You know, I'm curious what you guys think. Do you guys think what's your price prediction for virtuals? For this bull market, just the absolute top. I'm in the $12 to $15 range for virtuals protocol, which at current prices, let's say it's at $2, it's about a 7. We'll call it a 6 to 7x for virtuals protocol, which is great. But the real money, like you want to talk about 20 to 50x's, is going to be in that ecosystem. Some of them will come from the Genesis launches. Other ones will come from projects that are already in, that are already been live and really have been on the markets for quite a while. And again, if you watch that video, that virtuals video that's already on our channel, once the show is over, I highlight the ones that are the 3 that I'm bullish on. I'm bullish on a lot, but I'm pretty bullish on those 3. And then ETH, we got to talk about ETH, you guys. ETH, it feels like you know, I know I'm not the only one, right? I know I'm not the only one that sat there and said, there's no way that the #1 smart contract platform is just going to die. At least not this cycle. Maybe in a few cycles, maybe the next cycle, but not this damn cycle. We did get a blood diamond here. This is on the 1 hour. And hey, if you got in on this blood diamond, even on the next candle on the open, that's a nice 4% scalp there, my friends. We can get rid of market size for A. Keep our cloud. So 1 hour bearish, coming into a potential bear flag pattern here on ETH. Right, as we see this thing come up. Now, depending on where this thing goes, I would expect to catch some resistance at the top end of our cloud, which I'll drop a flag. Currently sits at 2506. And so on the shorter time frame, if you're looking for a scalp, I know I said I'm not trying to short, but if you're like, David, I don't give a shit, I want to short. Cool. ETH, look for 2506 to short that move. 4 hour. 4 hour looks very, very bullish. I mean, look how far away our prices from our cloud. I mean, this was a rally, 46%, my friends, from a project that was $200 billion. That is a massive, massive move. And that's on the 4 hour. And on the daily, just a clean break, really a 1 candle break of our cloud, which has flipped bullish there as well. We do have some room to go to the downside though, right? Our 9-day moving average sits at $21.88. Our 26-day moving average sits at $2,081. Look to long if ETH does retest those levels, as we see, right? Higher time frames, what are we seeing? Higher time frames, we're seeing bull flags. Lower time frames, we're seeing bear flags. And so what does that tell you? If you're in a short, right? Your short setups, do not stay in them long and take profits early. If you're in longs on the higher time frames, don't take profits early, and make sure that you have multiple take profit levels. Yeah, I hold a lot of AI XBT, Vader, AI, and virtuals protocol. Yeah, Ashley, I hold my biggest virtual bag is still AI XBT, and I actually took some profit on it when it hit like 21 cents. But it's still my biggest bag. I got in really early on AXBT. Anyways, so that's ETH. Okay, so just keep that in mind on ETH, and then we already talked about the ETH versus Bitcoin chart. This is nice, and on the daily too, just break out above, catching some support at the top end of our cloud. Here on the ETH versus Bitcoin chart. But again, guys, it was only a matter of time. So if you were accumulating ETH, and we'll go back to the USD chart, and that's Bitcoin. if you were accumulating ETH at any point after we broke out, right, you really had, and we can drop one of these. You really had over 2 weeks. You had 2 weeks to accumulate ETH between $1,750 and $1,850. If you did, amazing. You're gonna make a lot of money with Ethereum, and of course the ecosystem as well. And so again, I've said I cannot not be bullish on Ethereum. I don't care. It's clunky, it's slow, sure, but there's a reason that whales and people are continuing to buy, the institutions. All right. Let's take I want to go back to the crypto bubbles. Instead of focusing on the 1 hour, let's focus on the daily. We saw a lot of meme coins run. WIF is currently running 25%. Form, I'm not sure what the hell Form is. Do you guys know what Form is? This is like the second or third time. And usually I don't dig into it's Binary X. Yeah, I did that. No, done this before. Rewind. Binary X. I don't even know what the hell Binary X did, but apparently they rebranded. Let's take a look at the liquidity. So BNB token, it's got a Binance listing, and that's pretty much it. No big US, no crypto.com, no Coinbase, no Kraken. It's got LBank, Binance. So anyways, I don't want to waste my time on that. I did see a comment in there. What are your thoughts on Link? I love Link. I'm a big Chainlink bull. Chainlink is one of 2 projects that I feel comfortable sticking into a hardware wallet and forgetting about it for 10 years. But I have a really big bag of Link. We can actually pop open the Link chart and take a peek at what Link has been doing. Let's start, as always, on the higher time frame. Good. Last week we got a breakout above. We still need though. So unfortunately on the higher time frame, Link is still not technically, according to the Ichimoku cloud, in an uptrend because we need that cloud to flip from green to red. And we need this 9-day blue moving average, this one right here. We need that to be trading above our 26-day to confirm an uptrend. But on the daily, let's take a peek at what the daily is showing us. As my computer loads, daily shows good, right? And again, you just see it time and time again, the same setups on the same time frame for these altcoins. It's so easy, very easy to make money with alts. They're all the same, right? Unless you go super down the list outside the top like 200 or 250, these all like the same. Long to higher time frames and scalp the shorts on the lower time frame. Same thing with Chainlink. And again, I had a community member reach out to me and said, hey, I really want to get into TA. What's like a basic level learning? I was like, look, dude, get the Ichimoku cloud on there and it'll give you just easy trend analysis and support and resistance levels with moving averages. 9-day MA, 26-day MA, and your cloud is your support and resistance along with your 9 and 26-day moving averages. And so for Chainlink, if you're waiting for a pullback, 9-day moving average, $15.60. If we break below that, your 26-day moving average sitting at $15 even. But same thing as we saw, I think it was the ETH chart, or not the ETH chart, the Virtuals Protocol chart. Big move up, downtrending channel, break to the upside. Big move up, downtrending channel. We will get another break to the upside for Chainlink. Expect this thing to come back down potentially to 15.95 cents. We take a peek at Market Cipher B. This is on, what is this on the daily? Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's take a peek at what the 4 hour showing us. Our Market Cipher B. Wow. VWAP is at negative 18 on the 4 hour on chain. Let's look at when the last time VWAP was this low, and let's drop a horizontal. Last time VWAP came this deep was the 28th of March. So let's take a peek at the 28th of March and what what Chainlink did. Chainlink actually spilled off. Chainlink spilled off another 10%. And so if we get another 10% spill off, which let's get rid of. There we go. Let's get rid of those. Another 10% spill off for Link from where we are brings us down to below our cloud at around $14.74. Now, it's not to say that this is definitely going to happen because it happened before, but we know history, doesn't always repeat, but it tends to rhyme. And so I'm not touching a chain link long here until we hit, again, that first level is going to be that high time frame, 9-day moving average, which if we revisit it, I need a new computer here, man. This is not, there we go. $15.60. And so that is a level I'm keeping my eye on, but let's take a peek at the 1 hour. That's kind of the lower time frames. And I'm just going to close some of these. There we go. So bearish breakdown on the Ichimoku cloud. We can throw on, let's throw on Market Cipher A. Yeah, so we did. So Market Cipher A gave us confirmation of the trend change as well. As you can see, this beautiful blue, right? Gray to blue. We lost the blue. We're in the gray. So lower time frame, bearish momentum. And this was your first signal here. This red X was your first signal to enter into a short. And that did break to the downside. And that move from wick to wick was around 8%. For market Cipher A. We take a look at Market Cipher B. Pretty deep retracement on the momentum waves. But VWAP's looking a lot better. Actually, we're seeing a potential inverse head and shoulders on the VWAP on the 1 hour time frame, which should see a breakout to the upside, which we're currently sitting at a negative 3.1. RSI stochastics are pointing up, which is bullish on the 1 hour. 4 hour, though, 4 hour. We need to see this thing reverse and come to the upside on the 4 hour. But that's Chainlink. On the TA standpoint, again, waiting to potentially long that $15.60 level. Fundamental standpoint, very few are on the fundamental level that Chainlink is. And that is a fact. That is a fact. It's going to take a peek at the chat here. I usually throw a couple things out there, guys. Who actually hit the like button. What are your what's anyone's thoughts on layer 2 Bitcoin chains like Core? Ashley, that's a really good question. Stacks, Core, a few other ones that really are doing L2s on BTC. I honestly think, and this is just my opinion, I think what Cardano is doing and what Bitcoin OS is doing, I think that is really what's going to unlock the liquidity. And I know 1 and 2 could be the same, right? 1 and 2 could be the same, right? They both can do very well. But I think what Cardano showed with what they can do tapping into Bitcoin on a network level, no bridges, nothing outside of just one network in talking to another network and sending value and message back and forth. I think that's going to be the big narrative, and everyone talks about unlocking $1.3 trillion of money that's sitting idle in the Bitcoin ecosystem. I think Cardano, Bitcoin OS, and really any other layer 1 blockchain, specifically ones that are UTXO like Cardano is, like Bitcoin is, those are going to be the ones really that I think are going to unlock a lot of that liquidity. And so, which is why I'm still uber bullish on Cardano. And we can actually pull up a Cardano chart here. ADA's notorious for lulling you to sleep, and then all of a sudden you wake up and you see, if you have a bag of ADA, you see it at 2x overnight. That is the power of Cardano and what it does. And so we take a look at the chart again, guys. There's same setups across the board, right? Bull flag after bull flag. And for ADA, though, we're seeing this is a nice potential. I wouldn't really call it a gravestone doji, but still indecision. I mean, look at this candle here. You got a high of 86 cents and a low of 78 cents. And so, yeah, but for ADA, let's take a peek. Let's actually get rid of our fib level. Let's throw on our cloud. That's not the cloud. That's not the cloud either. There you are. Pretty bearish. on Cardano price action on the higher time frame. Why? We couldn't break out of our cloud, right? 84 cents. We need to clear. And this move, the other thing we didn't like seeing was as price was grinding higher, volume was grinding lower. And so if you took a short here, congratulations, you would have made some money. We should have taken a short there. We missed that trade. But we can't hit every trade, but we'll make sure to cash the next one. Eventually, though, obviously, I think Cardano is going to break that thing to the upside. But keep an eye on 84 cents and also keep an eye on volume, right? You guys know I pay attention to volume, as any trader really should. You see a move up and you see an attempt to reclaim a key level, but volume is dropping. That is I would say, the similar to like when you see a blood diamond with market cipher A, they tell you to short the market. If you see a move up to a key resistance level and volume start to drop, that is your blood diamond for Ichimoku Cloud. And so we really need to see Cardano break this cloud. Everything else looks fine. 9-day trading above 26-day. This is great. Cloud is green. This is great. The last thing we need is for price to be trading above 84.5 cents for ADA. Higher time frame, I think it looks even uglier. Actually, higher time frame looks better. This is on the weekly. Let's get rid of our Fibonacci retracements. Weekly actually looks pretty good. Daily does not look good. And so we'll see when Cardano makes another run at that cloud and we take a peek at market cipher B. Did get a crossover to the upside, which is good, but I mean, this thing is pretty much even. It's at 1.3. We're talking about our money flow. VWAP still above our midline, which is great. We can zoom into maybe the 4-hour chart, 4-hour time frame on market cipher B. This was a red dot a couple candles ago. Nothing really of note here. Zoom into the 1 hour. Now the 1 hour, okay, this potentially could be your anchor wave. And as long as this thing doesn't dip below any lower, we get a green dot here. This could be our trigger wave entry for a long on ADA on the 1 hour time frame. And we are teetering right at our cloud here, my friends. We're teetering right at our cloud. We keep getting rejected. This is the 1 hour yet again. And so, yeah, but that's ADA, but fundamentally long-term super bullish. It's been a lot of like infighting going on, man. I don't like it. I don't know if you guys are ADA fans or ADA holders, but there's just a lot of infighting with IOG and, Charles and some of the people and the treasury. I'm just like, we're in a bull market. There's no time for fighting. Let's push this thing forward because the tech is great. With that being said, that'll do it for the show today. I want to thank every single one of you for watching. I want to apologize for the inconsistency of when the show has been going. But starting today and moving forward, Monday through Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on this channel. That is where you're going to get this show, where we break down charts and fundamental analysis on TA. Do us a favor, support the channel. If you like trading, join our Discord. That link is in the description, and then get the VVIP access. Not only will you get trading signals from us, you'll also get it from the top traders on Buy DeFi. You talk about scalping, you talk about swing trading, you talk about market updates, you talk about our trades, and you don't pay us a dime. You don't pay us shit. We make our money from the exchanges. And so take advantage of that, man, because I don't know how long that thing's going to last. Take advantage of it. All those links are in the description. I love you guys so much. Watch our virtuals video. A lot of alpha in there. It's on this channel. Go watch it, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.